Not fair. Not fair. I learned something. Everybody else is right. I'm wrong. I want to cry. Somebody comes on here, one of my one of those subscribers, one of those, you know. Hey, I'm one of those subscribers. Yeah, Chuck Wagon, we're on. Oh my God, just to see the leather, okay? I mean, it's crazy. When I look at Chuck Wagon's leather, the orange, the Harley Davidson orange, there's a love in it. Okay, there's something about, but I don't really like the knowledge of thinking of the leather at the same time. It's like you can't pull it apart with your teeth. It's good to scratch on for the cats. It lasts a long time. Now, when the cats see leather, everybody knows there's something behind the leather because the animals are in the forest. And doesn't everybody have like some kind of suit on or something? And they know behind that suit by the smell of his ass. What do you think they smell? His ass. When they're face to face, they smell his breath and they get angry at each other because they can smell the breath, the mist that comes off between them. They smell these animals. The cats, they have communications. They purr. It shimmers in them. It vibrates and it picks up with the system matrix. It's just the lines that move. And their vibrations, therefore they don't have to burn themselves out, and they're always vibrating as God is always on top of them, humidifying them and waving the fan when the fire gets too hot. Because God's got to take care of the matrix, okay? And if you want to know what's natural, first, was creation natural? It was once. It was the only one of us, because we're the only ones here. If there's somebody else, it's theirs and their first and not our first. It's their first and our first. It's the same thing. We got one on one. But God's got two. So, you see, when they vibrate the matrix, okay, it's different notes to different plants and animals that pick up. For what reasons, I don't know the whole thing. Okay? But like I said, God is odd. Okay? And when you walk into the house, what are you doing in the house? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Listen, I came home for... oh, pretty cool, pretty cool. You seem to be okay today. Yeah. But inside of her, all she wants to ask is, why are you home? Why are you home? I'm looking for a cigarette in the middle of a big pile of paper. Can't find a cigarette. Please tell me there's one cigarette left in here. Well, look what happened to my cigarette pack. That's creation. That's my cigarette pack, what it used to be. I pull out one side, the other side, well, so much for that, eh? Oh, and there's not a cigarette in it either, because I have to save all this stuff. It's little tricks. Just like I was doing this, okay? You ever see this before? Now, I don't know if it works anymore, but we're going to try it out and see what happens, okay? Because this is the yellow energy, okay? This is blue beta. Why do we have this yellow energy? Because blue is the machine. She works, okay, she works with the energy, but she works the energy. She uses it herself, plus she sells it, okay? She sells it into us. It's the corn, the piece of the corn, the little choker of the corn. That's the popping part. I mean, take that out, it doesn't pop. The white of the ghost, okay? The white is behind most of these stories, okay? Because they lay down a platform and they choose white and black because they're opposite, and the clarity of how they derived to become that. Because when you burn a log, the minute you're at the end of the burning, everything is white, okay? Actually, everything turns black, and then everything turns white. The fire becomes like a white ghost that gives off the other elements. I mean, I throw a piece of wood in the fire and watch it burn, and then see the colors come out and what colors come out, and what the material item, only based on the material now, comes out to white and black. Material has two colors, white and black. The rest of the elements of this universe have the other colors. But keeping these materials together in the growth, okay, was the system of nutrition. Okay, so they were nutritionized and they were these colors. Go look, some trees are purely white on the inside. And go look, others are very red. because it's the nutrition and what the tree is being used for that will give you the density, the weight, the kind of tree name, the maple tree. Maple tree, and now they have Maple Lodge chickens. They kill the chickens, and the maple tree is the syrup. So the beta is the hen, okay? The syrup is the tree's roots. Maple tree, Maple Lodge. Building a house, and this is a lodge. To simplify it all, go get a Monopoly game, and I think they only give you 9 hotels. Is it 9 hotels? 9 hotels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's 22 properties, but they only give you 9 hotels. Does that mean 2 properties join? Okay. And you do not need the 22nd anymore. It becomes the 22nd and 3rd are now the 22nd, and they now join together. But can you actually put a hotel on Marvin Gardens? Yellow, Marvin Gardens. Can you put a hotel on Marvin Gardens? Yellow. I mean, if yellow is energy, how can you power a garden? It would be a fireplace that would go there. So you got to figure out where Marvin Gardens is and see what streets are on there, see who lives around that area, the telephone numbers, and you'll come up with a bigger answer. But it's way over my head. I simplify everything and tell you the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s all in one shot. I line it up on tic-tac-toe row, or I line it up on the phone, I line it up on Rubik's Cube. I go, row 3, 3, 3. Oh, well, row 3, 3, 3, that's it. Oh, here's row 3 and here's 3, 3. No, I meant row 3, 3rd. Oh, the 3rd, the RD, eh? Angel resident, and the D is the angle of God, which is the Dame, which is the Great Dane, the Great Dane. Are they sleek? Check the way their legs are built and how their tail points out. Never talk about the pointer. You talk about the pointer and you're around this, you got shit in your face. Well, I forgot to tell you, I put cat shit in here. Listen. There's cat shit in here. But what happens, okay, if I make little holes on the bottom, or I drip water from the top, and it's constantly making this wet, eventually, the energies, okay, that are in the liquid coming over, some of them will start to stick, depending on what this is. And depending what color this is, and what color it will get, what color you will see, that will grow, and that is natural, and it is odd. But it happens over and over and over again, and God saw it was good. He says, I'm going to do that too. So when chickens are fed in the chicken houses, do you know how they feed them? They feed them basically like this. I'm going to try and show you if I could. They feed them like this. Here's a pot like this. Okay? The water touches here. There's a rim on this. The minute it gets up to a certain height, this closes it, and the water doesn't come anymore, so it rises and goes down. Okay? They changed that system by now. What were we talking about? The colors? I don't know. Okay, remind me. I lost myself in that. Please, please, please. I ask you. Okay, when I first started this whole thing, and I'm going to get into this. When I first started this whole thing, I'm going to get into this. I'm telling you, the reason I repeat, okay, is because when the television comes on, it's a commercial break. But coming up next, the Beverly Hillbillies. And you've seen the song before. Oh, how does that song go? Dun, dun, dun. No, he was shooting up some brew, and up come the ground came a bobbling brew. Oil, that is. Is that the way they say it? Texas tea, or is it gold Texas tea? Well, the first thing you know, they moved to Beverly. Now, this is all screwed up for me, because gold and yellow and fat, they just keep bugging me. Because tendons, have you ever bitten into a tendon right around a piece of meat? I'm going to see if I have a piece of meat in here. Okay, I'm going to come back in a second. You don't go far now, okay? Okay, who's in charge? I want to know who's in charge and who's left over. Who's in charge, who's left over? First of all, this is an L, my friends. This, in the Hebrew language, is a gimel. And when I flip it upside down, we got a dalet. We've also got a 7. And don't forget where the passage was, right? The hole. Remember, that's the hole you've been blowing all your life. That hole there, you've been blowing that hole. You see, something was in it. That's why it's there. That's the shape it got. So my shape being in it, okay, automatically says this shape is a U, so that means a U can fit in. And an I is a U. I am me, and I fit into the U in the road. You look at this finger, but take a piece of paper and put it around your finger and cut the paper in half. I mean, mark a line on each side in half and bend it back the way it was. It makes the letter U. Things fit into each other. If you cut something up one way, anyways, hold on. If you cut up something one way, hold on. Cut up something. The way you cut it. I hope I don't forget this. But the other thing is, who's the boss? You've got the red, okay, a little bit. You got some white fat left over, and a little bit of fat here. Now, if you cook this, before I even get to there, who's the boss? Well, let me tell you who's the boss. I think the tendons are the boss of everything, okay? Because the T-E-N, means the totality of don, the donation, the don, which is the angle, okay? To protect, okay? To build a core, okay? Don, D-O-N-S, S, spirit, D-O-N-S, S-N-O-D, snod, snop, okay, stop. So now we know there's a stop in the action for some reason. This word implements, and not only does this word implement when there's this in the action, we all know that if we stop, and we heard the word stop, I'm going to say stop, and I said it 4 times now, we know there's something with it, but we're not going to go there. So the tendons are transmitting the energy, and that's why they're so tough, and they send it into the fat. And the fat sends it into the meat. And the meat is all the wiring, okay? But you see it this thick and this long, that's why you cut it that way. You cut it a certain way, because watch the wiring, the way it runs along the pole and up, okay? This meat, okay, is what they eat, because this is where all the energy is, okay? The tendons were a passage, and the coolant and radiator is the fat, okay? And because it's the fat, it gets to filtrate in all the energies, because it has to make sure the outside always dries out first. So it has to make sure that it covers the whole outside, and it's got to be slimy so the passage is good inside the animal. Don't forget, the meat is cooking in the animal as it grows. What temperature is the animal inside? Okay, what's around it? Is there a film around this meat? Because if there isn't, it's cooking while it's in the animal. That's one of the reasons for milk and not milk. So anyways, so you have the boss of this, and the strongest one in here is the fat yellow. That's where I started this. The fat yellow, somehow because of the energies, the certain kind of energies, and they're not the strong dark energies, okay? Because they start with creation, white. So the base background of this is white, okay? So this background to this animal is white, okay? Other animals, depending on what the color of their fat is, okay, you would call that either the gray or, let's say, the black. And we'll just categorize it like this, split it into 2. We split it into 2. Isn't everybody happy? We were 15 people before, now we're 7 on each side. Well, don't I count for the 15? I split them. And if I go for each group, that 7 group and that 7 group both become 8 with me, we're 16. And then me again, we're 17. But then we're 17, so I calculated a new equation. So they're 17, I'm with them, they're 18. They're 17, I'm with them, they're 18. It's 36. Well, what about me now? It's 37. Can't believe it, because let's start this again, okay? There's 37, right? But there's 18 and 18 on each side in me. So that 18 gets me is 19. That 18 gets me is 19. The total is 38 plus me is 39. We're 39 now. And the reason for this 39 is because 3 times the king choice position, okay? The king card is the 13th card. It's the letter M. The letter M is a V with 2 legs that help it move around. It stands for Roman numerals 1000, and in God's world, where he's crooked, and the reason God was crooked is because he couldn't make anything stand. Okay, so we used two. He leaned one on the other one. Okay, and once these two land on each one was out here like the letter Z, and the other one's out here like the letter N. So here we have 8, and here we have 5, and in the center, there you go, you got passage, but the first passage is the angle of God. Because look at my arm, okay, it's flat. Hold on a second. You see my arm, it's flat. It's right on my arm. And if I do this, it looks like a D. Is it a D yet? It's a D. Because that's the queen angle. Okay? That's the first part of the queen to go through. That's her angle. And if you look at that closely, okay, it's the top part of a stop sign. Okay? Imagine the top part of a stop sign and cut that stop sign in half. They put one on the bottom and one on the top. Or they cut it in 4. Put 1, 2, 3, 4. They cut that in 4. The reason for the pyramid, remember this, okay? The reason for the pyramid, okay, is because they take this angle, okay, split it in 2, and turn it into 16 actually, okay? In tridimensional, I don't want to go there, man, because it's too much work for me, and I can't call in. I'm going to overlap the lines. No good. So I take this, and you put one on the other side, and then you get, okay, an octagon. You cut it in 4, and each 4 is like a diamond shape into this. So each one can turn on its own. One on the bottom. Then atop of it, there's 4 points that meet. The same points that are on the bottom of the apple. 5 points, excuse me, maybe 6. Okay, because they do the opposite on top now. And they take that cut up octagon and put it up, standing up like diamonds, okay, that they fit in. Because I can imagine it in my head, so believe you me, just make an octagon and connect the diagonal lines on 45 degrees. Okay, just 45 degrees is fair. Okay, it's from what's one fair to the other fair. When you're on a corner, okay, from one side to the other side, it's a 45-degree angle. It's a 90-degree angle. In between is 45. Is it fair? Each? You got 90, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. So she, by making this hole and this passage, I now can set up the system. It's diamond shapes because they're not rectangles and they're not circles and they're extended. They were put together by multiple, what I call the creation of the standing sticks. And the reason the creation of the standing sticks came out is because I'm going to try and draw this. It's coming in so fast now, my friends. Okay, standing sticks look like this. Okay, here's 2 standing sticks, okay? And what happens is one stick is going to fall down all alone. So God took the sticks and he did that. But he said, I wasn't sure if that was good. So then he took that apart, and then the good Lord, he went out and did that. Okay, but before he was finished the idea, he was thinking and talking, he's thinking, he says, you know what? He says, if I tie them together, I got a better shot. So he ties it like this, right here. He says, that's good. Okay, so you see what it is? It's actually the number 5. It's the starting of the tic-tac-toe, where the number cuts 258 right in the center right here, if you've watched any of my videos. If you look, it's a cross leaning on an angle, because everything's on an angle. When they had the movie, the Passion of the Christ, the Return of the Christ, or the Passion of the Christ, it was on an angle, because this world is on an angle. We're not the same as the other world. If everything was straight, you want to see what straight is? Does straight stand up? No, straight does not stand up. But straight stands up, okay, if it's on an angle against something else. You see? Now it stands up. So, that's an angle. That's a neutralizing angle because it stood up that way. Neutralizing angle because it stood up that way. And because it was the only neutralizing angle, it was also a number 1 just like God. But God knew the best place for a neutralizing angle of number 1, okay, as you see, is in the 5-hole of the telephone, because he saw this was good. But he knew if he didn't lean this up against something, okay, because now I'm only on paper, if he didn't lean this up against something, now he comes to his Trinity, okay, in which shows like this. I'm going to try and use the same marks. Okay, which is right here. Okay, let me see that again. He gets his trinity from this point over here. Oh yeah, I'm going to continue the line. Okay, because in creation, okay, what happens is everything turns. Okay, it automatically turns. Now we're looking at it standing straight. The balance beam is right here. It's man and his angle. It's man and his angle. And here is beta up here. And here is the beta heaven where everything returns. This is a passage. It's got to be a gray area and a dark area. I was talking about dark backgrounds. Usually dark black backgrounds are the number 5 because the number 5 horse is black. I haven't really studied it. The information has been coming in and coming in and coming in. And most of what I just did with you, I've never done before. I mean, I've written small things like that. I was just showing you about the way this and this angle is how God began. And these two angles are the N and the Z. Okay? Now, the other parts of the Z, okay, the lines go 1, 2, lines of light. And the N lines go 1, 2, lines of light. Lions and millions of lions and millions. Psychopedia. It's a little worm. It sometimes shines. I know so much, I know so little, I'm afraid to forget. It comes in and I'm not sure where to go next. So if I seem to lose you at some point, please do not hesitate to say something. I will understand because I see myself go. Okay? So anyways, the whole thing started because of this, don't forget. So we were showing you that beta passage, right? To have a passage, God's got to create the last angle, and he does. And where it started and where it went, the center of everything, okay, is right here. Where is it? Right here. Okay? And it goes, hold on, how can I do this? It goes down all the, can I do it from this side? So he comes right down here. Oh yeah, it's so hard to see. I'm sorry. I'm going to fix it up a little bit. I'm going to fix it up. Fixing it up. Been a long cassette, eh? This is just an old design I make up really quick. Okay, now anybody can do what I did because I was gone. This mark over here, okay, the mark is going through here. You see the T? That's a point going through a line. That's the Jesus cross right here. Why is it the Jesus cross? Why does it look like the X-Man? Why is it in that corner? Because up in this corner is the spirit. Okay, we work 1-9. The telephone is like this, okay? This is the cross, okay, over here. It stops it, okay? The movement, okay, is on the inside, okay? But the connection, okay, is in between the lines. What happens here is if you ever see a snowflake, well, this square part is missing, okay? And most of these lines is missing. I'm showing you that this X goes here and goes into the center and up to here. The jack letter. One of many reasons the jack goes here. Because that's the way it works. I can't tell you. Turns around like the bottom of a mixing bowl of some sort. What was I going to do with this? Oh, yeah. Let me show you. This is very funny. This is very funny. Well, won't come out. So, anyways, we're going to leave the cassette at this. What I did here is I'm building the roulette board, and I started with this bean and this bean, Mr. Beans. Well, because God is a polar bear, okay? And this is coffee. And I said he's a polar bear because he stays high in the mountains. I didn't say which mountains. He lives high in the mountains, God. Okay? I mean, according to my book, and coffee beans are exactly what those eyes are all about. All I do is draw straight lines, and then I bubble them, and basically, everything in life is basically that design right there, okay? And this design right here. So the reason for the lips, and maybe the prostate, and again, like I said in my last cassette, the prostate, salt water, the Mediterranean is mixing. What I'm trying to show you is this one over here is making sure that this one here, that its air is always constant. Because this one is the beta world machine, okay? She blows up the other world. I mean, I can't explain to you any better than this, okay? She blows up the other world, and that's it. On Sunday, she rests. We prayed to her on that day, okay? But on Monday, when we go back to work, look how big she gets. So imagine, my yellow balloon from this distance is actually not looking as yellow anymore, eh? Now, pending what's inside that balloon is what you're going to get. What kind of day are we going to have today? Well, let's blow up the balloon. So if I can do it in my own house, you don't think the science network has already done something this easy? Do you know how many things you can make like this all around one at 45 degrees? Because 45 degrees is the best balance, because otherwise you alter balance. Does anybody understand that? It's new language, my language. If you counter your own balance by going 45 degrees, 22.5 degrees, 11 degrees, 5.25 degrees, you're counterbalancing, because first of all, man is 5.125 degrees and is on both sides. Man's 5.215. Listen to this. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1.25 is 5. That makes man 25 jack. Why? Because the 5.125, okay, is the short man count. Okay, I'm going to let the balloon glow. And the short man count of all the directions, it's a 5 dice, even though the 5 is a passage, something has to go and to come from that position. So 1 to go from the position of 5, 1 to come, all of a sudden you got 10 if you take each one into effect. Plus man's world and God's world. Anyways, what did I jumped off something? The 5. Yeah, okay, so the short man count, listen to this, okay? We have man, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then everybody joins beta. That's what it is, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then beta. So 5125 times 5 is 25,625 of the man count. And I must have did it about 50 to 100 times already. Something different. I'm always saying something different. Don't ever think I'm saying the same thing, because I can never repeat, because I'm never exact. I'm not an exacto. I'm not perfect. I'm bent and I'm crooked. Do I smoke weed? What is it, weed? Can I say I smoke something that I'm not quite sure if I'm really allowed to? Like, this is not a joint, you know? I call it a joint because if you walk into a joint and everybody looks at you, what is what? We don't have a joint? No, I walk into the joint. Your house, sir. Your room, sir. Oh, greetings, my friend. You're greeting a friend? No, to you, my sir. Micer? I'm a micer. Are there any mice here? What do I hear? Hear? What? Hear? I can't hear clear. Oh, keep drinking a beer. Is that clear? You got enough stuff, buddy? What's going on? I can't hear it. What? Speak a little. Oh, forget it. While he's speaking a little louder, I don't really care anyways. So I'm making him talk for nothing. And actually, I wasn't really even listening, because I'm not listening to you. I had a dog one day. Oh my God, he pissed on me. Or was that a song I wrote? Hey man, I had a dog. That dog was just right here. That dog was having beer. And I came to that. The dog was having beer. A beer, a boar. You see, and I come to today and it means something to me, because the dog is in the beta, the electronic world, the spirit of the angel resident. The beer and the dog, because the dog is the house we live in, and the tails are the cat's lives, because we call it the Lion King, the circle of life, which must mean, if that is the circle of life, then the colors of the lions rulers make the lines. The colors of the lions, the rulers make the lines, and the zebras, okay, they are the artists, okay? The cow shows you how we move around in the world like this. But it is the lion that is king. And if you look at the end of the lion's tail, when you see the bushy tail, that is communication. He's wearing orange. He wears orange as his suit. Man wears the color of the Holy Ghost. The lion is the cat of communication. C, creation. A, angel. Angle of transport. Angle, transmission. Angle of truce. Angle of truth. Angel of truth. C-A-T. Why don't we just tack it on the wall? T-A-C. Tack it on the wall. When the point is good of the tail of the lion, tack it on the wall. But wait. What is the pan? The pan. The pansy? What's a pansy? Is it a chimpanzee? Man, another part of man. Chimpanzee. Put them together. Tack, chip, pansy. You get the word tack pans. When you add on the transmission of the transfer, okay, of MK, you get the standing 4-6 combination in the M. Therefore, the angel resident of man, okay, the angel resident of man is his arm. His arm, and his E, his electronic connection to the E world. And he must be connected to his ant, which is the Tia. And it is the T in the turn of the transmission that connects him to the other elements of the car, bringing him back to the alternator and back to the power of life into the battery, which now means the battery is the power of life. The alternator, the pistons, okay, they're getting laid every single day, every single time, and they need a lot of oil because they're going up and down and let you get a V6, then you be humping and bumping. Oh my God, is that the way God is? Making me talk dirty? I'm talking dirty. And I didn't even know, because that's the way the world was built. The motor was really pumping. So he put in a little bit more octane, month of October, 10, for the 10 ways, 10 commandments of the way in the beta world. Octane, we pick up 87, and it says the 7 ways of the 8 heaven, which means God 7 and beta 8. And it's the eyes, because God gets 3 eyes down the center. Beta does not. God owns all the holes. God owns all the holes. And guess what? He's ready to plug them up with these 2. Because this is the 2nd and 3rd finger. It's the hook. It's the crochet. You get hooked with these 2. It's creation, beta creation. These 2 fingers are a W. Look, look, look. Look, 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 look. You ever hear of that? Look, 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 look. Have you ever seen the way a chicken looks? It's like, so you say look. Look, 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 look. It sounds like cluck, cluck, and all I'm saying is look, look. Because the tongue in your mouth, while you say that too fast, doesn't have enough time to move before it hits back the top again when you start to say the look. It says cluck, 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 cluck. You know what I'm trying to say? I find the weirdest things, you know. Does it make sense? Oh yeah, la 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 la, because the tongue is a spring now. And if you go a little bit slower, you give your tongue enough time to move into position to have that tune for everybody. La 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 la. Well, I'm not a singer, but anyways. What else can we say? We were getting back to this and that. I don't remember. So many things, so much. There's so much. I'm losing out on it. I'm very, very unhappy. I'm losing out. It's, you know, of some part that I need to get paid back. It's not the money. I just, by me not being able to constantly, someone asks me a question, I can concentrate. Everybody's marking it down everywhere. and I can mark it too, and then I can move on, and some stuff will get finished and stuff won't, but at least we can advance, because I can't do this fast enough for myself anymore. I just, last night I made a prayer that came true. I was so happy. I said, oh Lord, I said, oh Lord, I said, oh Lord. He says, shut up, Red. He says, what do you want? He says, you want my services? So I said, yes, I do. I said, got to slow me down. So I ran out and I went into the cupboard. I said, tonight I take an extra 200. Then I started to think, okay, I don't know if it's rational. Well, yesterday I didn't, and tonight I did, and now if I this, and what am I? And I don't want to. I'm having a good strategy here so far, right? So I don't want to over-medicate any of this going on, and I don't want to under-medicate. So I just got to be in line, because most likely I can get through the way it is, but it's impossible. There's absolutely no way. Okay, I feel that the water is dripping out a little at a time, and I'm just knowing and not being scared of what's going on just eliminates that whole irrational panic attack. You know what I'm saying? The only time I know a panic attack is there when I'm sitting in traffic and I got to go to the can, and oh my God, what am I going to do? I poop on the seat, I smell my own poop, I know who I am, I stink. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Raphael, I'm going to give you a number right now. Okay, I tried this before in the other videos. I'm going to give you number 9. I want you to think of the number 14. That would be 33, right? Now, I was wrong there, but I was wrong because I know, if I'm wrong, I know that you're going to think blank, 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 blank of this next number I will say, which is what? Right. You already knew, so why am I going to say 23? Oh. Can I erase that? Did I actually say that? Okay, we're going to try it again. Okay, we're going to try it again. Hold on a second. Because we're going to join hands. If I put my hand up like this, I want to see everybody's hand up like this. Should our hands be like this? Should our hands be like this? Shy away, my friend, to the side. Or should our hand just be a little bit up over our nose? Okay, when it's over your nose, you know why I say that? Because I passed by a school today, and the way they hold that sign, it seems like there's a technique between all the school people holding the signs. Each one holds it out a different way, right? So each one is actually explaining who she is. It was really weird. She was just holding the school sign up, and I stopped. But she says, what are you stopping for? I go, look. She says, I don't speak French. How do you say look in French? Oh, regard. That's what it is. That's what she said to me. So she says to me, regard. And I look at her and I go, yes, you are a guard. Because in French, regard is a guard, right? So what do I know? I'm stupid fucking. I'm a dumb GM. Why? I'm a dumb general manager of my own technician, because I'm all in technician right now. In fact, I'm an electrical repairman. In 35 minutes from now, I'm going to fix some electricity. I'm going to get a coffee. In fact, is this coffee still here? Oh, man! There's still some left. Look. You see? Look at the angle. You see, God knew. Look at this. Okay, look at this cup. Okay, look at the way the cup is made, the angle, okay? This is, I don't know what the angle is, and I swear, I wish it was 5.125 degrees, this angle, okay? I wish, because that would just tell me so much, okay? And also, it takes it away, that angle, with what it sits on. So the angle now changes because of the round that's put it on. And the round sticks out at its own furthest point when it sticks out on this round. So it changes the actual, and then the rim to lean on changes the angle again. I mean, so I don't know what they do when they calculate pi, but you got all these things, but there's a simpler way to all of this. You know what it is? You unfold all the metal, you cut it square, everything else you put into the recycling bin, you cut it up, you weigh it out, you check how much it was per weight, and that's what the size was. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to figure out how big is it, how much does it weigh? Well, cut it up. Take a planet, turn it into. We're going to take this planet and we're going to turn it into to bin Laden. Here, you do this. You take this, and no matter what you do, you just go by the point here. This point will measure the whole thing. Everybody already knows that. But if you want to calculate another way, you put this dice inside of it, and you see what's left over. And then you cut little pieces and little pieces and little pieces and little pieces, so small, and every piece is the same size. And at the end, you weigh the last piece off. That's basically, I mean, it's all stupid. It's all, I'm playing a little bit of a game with you, you know, but it's all like that. Silver on one side, gold on the other side. They both have a reflection for some reason. What is the reason for the silver and gold reflection? The reflection of what? We need a reflection for some reason. I've done 40 minutes now and I'm stopping, but there is something in here. This, look, it's one piece. It's one piece. I don't care how small you make it, it's one piece. But there's a point here and a point here and a point here. Now, from underneath, there's a point here and a point here and a point here. Now, on this side, it's all the same thing. And then we have in here, this is one big wall. But all the action is counted out here and counted out here. All they do from point A to point B is count the distance. But this one here tells you everything. This is a corner angle. So somebody's already going to know you have to weld all the way here to this way and weld to this way. You may have to weld on the inside. Okay. This, okay, when you work with this, when you want to make a hole, the strongest point to weld is right here in the middle of the wall, where no welds have been taking place, so nothing breaks off. So you bore a hole in here, right in here. And that's passage 1 in order for beta to come to the second level. But there's always a space. Okay? The reason for the ace is coming right now because the ace is holding up these two walls. Okay? You know it gets smaller when you go to the attic. But when you get down to the basement and you look at the 4 walls, oh my God, it's pretty scary down there, is it not? So this is part of beta, okay? And 3 levels of life, and they also represent that in the Olympics and all the games. I'm trying to look for my mouse. Anyways, you don't mind that I stop. Like I said, we must hold hands. Not just like that. Just, you know, you don't even have to say a word to anybody. This is something that works on your own, okay? This works on your, excuse my language, this works on your fucking own, okay? That's the first time I'm going to swear. I swear it like that because that F word is for man, and man means business, and now that I'm with man and I feel connected, I mean business, and I am allowed to say that word. The you, I unify myself as one and I and the angel together. We are 1 and 2. I am working as one right now. The C is the creation of the K, which is the 1D that connects the life on one side. Well, right now I'm on one side with my angel. Fuck. We are 1 and 1. We're squeezed in together. I can barely think sometimes, but it's good. So now's the time, you see, and I know through this energy, and especially because of the moon last night, that was it, man, last night. I know all these numbers. I couldn't tell you off by hand. I always have to redo them again because the day, the time, I might notice something differently, but everything was so cool. And I made a video last year, or 3 or 4 of them, mentioning within 1 year a couple of things are going to arrive, and it wasn't exactly the way I called it, but I'm happy with the results. It's okay. Don't worry what it is. You'll see in the future. Because if you do stick your mind to what I'm thinking, because it's not only me that thinks like that, it's others. We just got to say, okay, oh my God, she did a bad thing. Okay, control it inside of you. How do you progress? Progress with that situation. Every situation, you are another number, okay? You've got to become that situation. If you're not happy in that situation, you shouldn't have gone into that situation. Well, you had no, what's it called? You had no idea, whatever, my daughter, my sister. Well, before you start, you have to understand if you're going to have a child up to a certain age, there's sometimes nothing you really want to do about it. You're going to push her at a certain speed. But once they're 6 years old, they're on their iPod and they're not at home. And what do you think goes on? Okay? They're already making money. Hey, it's my daughter! Oh my God! What are all the flowers? What are all the flowers on her floor? Oh, she's getting laid. She's only 10. Oh my God! No, it's no good. No, Ma. Don't you read the cards? What cards? No, you have to read the cards. Okay? It's money, Ma. Money means life. It means goodness. It means riches. That's what it means. It means creation. You see the dollar here, right here? The seahorse? The seahorse in the ocean? This is the seahorse. Remember, I'll forget this for sure. This is a seahorse in the ocean. Okay, you see the tail on one, the other tail on the other one. That's you and your angel coming in. And then you see the part on the bottom? Okay, it looks like a mouse. It looks like he's going the other way. Now, in between, you see a blue spot on yours and a blue spot on his. Well, that's the cassette. This is why we're the beta world, because that's the way we go around in the beta world. This flower here is a communication flower, and she's communicating with, I can't see the color. I'd have to look this way. I still can't see it. It looks black. So if it's black, she's communication with the return spirit negative, most likely, or the energizer. Does it go in? Because you go into a system, all kinds of plugs, but inside the system, it changes black, which changes beta black. Inside her system. So, yeah, so that money sign, okay, means flowers. And that flower means communication. And communication, okay, means it's good for sales. And you have those sales, you make a lot of money, and you're back to the beginning. I got a flower, Ma. And it's all about being online at Facebook and YouTube and Blogger and Google and Explorer. And if you ever take a look at the Microsoft, the way his thing comes out, it comes out as two spots or a couple of balls. And these balls grow into color, showing you the spirit, the green next to it, beta blue just below. Okay? Beta blue just below. Beta blue just below. Beta blue just below. Right here, this one. In Hebrew language, they use this. Alpha, beta God. AB. You don't use AB this way in creation because it's on a square dice. We don't draw the picture the same way. All right, guys, just in case I never remember what I ever said. Your energy will last forever. You can be mad all you want, but you must remember in a situation you can't scream at anybody even if they did wrong. They did wrong. Why are you going to do wrong by screaming? It's not right to scream. Why fool Mother Nature? You ain't fooling Mother Nature by you screaming and pushing him back into place. He's not going to be the same person ever again. Well, sometimes certain people need a little push. Now watch out who you're pushing, okay, in the first place, okay? Who are you to dementalize somebody else's mind while they're on this earth, okay? When you reach 50 years old, at this point in time, it's that you realize that you no longer want to be pushed by anybody else. You want to get off and go on your own. That's one of the things for the males. And the females get the same thing around the same age. The same thing, they call it their cycle, and I just say, yeah, it's the end of a cycle, because at the age of 51, the women are free, basically. Once they free the 51, because 51 is the passage, so if it wants to stop, if it's in your heart that you want it to stop, it will stop. Because that's the passage. That's the year you have the choice. And then it goes on until it closes on its own. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. And at 55, it should be over. That's the freedom number. If you get to 54 and you can still have a child, well, that's still the number of birth. 54 is 45, because the love, they go backwards the same and they add up the same. 9 by 5 is 45. 9 and 5 is 14, makes 59, which is the spirit passage for the birth of the 9 positions. All 9 positions. All the positions on this. These cute. And 2 added positions. Thank you very much. Remember,